in terms of South Africans losing their identity to the West, it's a bit of a yes and no thing, because I feel that to a certain degree, systematically and institutionally, we have lost our culture to a certain degree, not all the way though. Because of apartheid, because of colonialism, as Africans, we were taught that our culture is less important than the Western culture. Therefore, as black Africans, as white Africans, we try so bloody hard to be Western. That's why we're so not in touch with our indigenous knowledge. That's why we've got all people who are sitting there basically being like proper libraries of hardcore indigenous knowledge, and we're not even aware of it. You know, there's so much amazing stuff around us, indigenous stuff, that we're not aware of it because we're not acclimatized that way, we're not taught that way. We were taught that our culture is less important. So to that degree, yes, South Africans have lost their culture to Westerns. But then at the same time, with the Renaissance, the African Renaissance, as our beautiful president will say, we're starting to rediscover our culture. We're starting to, as speaking from a black African, South African's perspective, we're starting to say, but it's okay to be black and be Botswana. It's okay to be black and to be Ndebele. It's okay for me to go and slaughter a cow in respect for my ancestors. Because before we denied that right, that's why we did not take care of it. That's why we lost it. But now we're starting to rediscover it. So we've lost it, but we're starting to rediscover it. I think it's more of a South African Renaissance than an African Renaissance, because I think compared to other African countries, South Africa is moving much faster, you know, and more in relatively speaking. And we are more focused on development. We're more focused on adapting to change. We worry about things like that. Whereas in other countries, it's still more of the nitty-gritty stuff. It's still more of an ethnical thing. You know, you still have huge conflicts that really, really need hectic intervention before they can be solved. Before people can even worry about rediscovering themselves as Africans and you know, reteaching their kids the African values. So I would say it's more of a South African thing right now. Hopefully, I mean, in Uganda, it's kind of like happening differently with the HIV/AIDS thing. But it's more, I would say, still more of a South African Renaissance, like really an African.